Hey there, Bison fans. Coach Velk here again. Going to go through our next installment of home workout videos. Biggest thing with this, we want to make sure that we're being safe, right? Again, we keep getting questions from people. If you have weights, obviously default to the weights, but there are some things you might not be able to do with the weights that you have. So again, we're using some things around the house. I do have a med ball that I was able to find. It's only 5 pounds. It's not very heavy, and that's all that I really need. Okay. Hey there, Bison fans. Coach Velk here again for your next installment of your home workout videos. I'm going to give you guys a series of things that you can do to help you put together some sort of a home workout if you don't have weights. I do get the question a lot, Coach, if I do have weights, what should I use? Again, I want you to use the weights if you have weights, right? But in this case, I don't have weights at my house. I only have a few, maybe one dumbbell or two. But again, I have my other things that I can use. So again, if you have weights, use them. If not, these are things you can use that we should all have around the house somewhere, okay? So remember, on our summer lifts, we are supersetting everything, okay? That's the biggest thing. So the first thing that we're going to do is for our Wednesday lift is going to be our incline and med ball chest pass, okay? So incline and med ball chest pass. So for incline, you need to remember that an incline, a lot of people have asked, can I put my feet up on the couch? No. Anytime your hips are above your shoulders, that's going to be that's going to be a decline bench. Okay. To do an incline bench, your hips need to be below your shoulders. Okay. So several things you can do for this. I'm going to use my water jugs to start, and I'm going to kind of make my chairs stable. I'm good there. You can use a couch. Your stairs are also very good. Okay. But I'm just going to make sure my hips are below my shoulders, and I can take my water jugs and I can go here. Okay. So I can do a set of 10. Normally, if we have heavier weights, our first set is a set of 5, and our plyo set is a set of 10. But if you don't have the heavier weights, you can do a set of 10 and 10, set of 10 and 15. You know, whatever is you're able to push yourself with, depending on the weights that you have. Okay, so that's one way you could do incline bench. Another way you could do incline bench would be to obviously make sure my hips are below my shoulders. And I could just lean forward and put my backpack on if I want to, try to keep everything straight line here, and just come up and down, and I could do my incline push-ups there. Okay, so those are 2 things you can do. The next part of the superset is the med ball chest pass. So, if you don't have anyone to pass a ball to, nor do you have a med ball, again, different variations for different people. Even something as simple as a basketball, right? If you do have someone, your brother, dad, anything like that, just taking that basketball and just giving a chest pass, right? The whole idea is getting those hands moving forward as fast as possible, okay? Now again, I don't have someone to pass the ball to, so what can I do? I'm gonna take my med ball, right, for my second part of the workout. Take my med ball, it's not heavy, and I'm just gonna basically do a chest pass to myself here, okay? And all I'm focusing on here is that explosive movement, right, with my hands in my chest, and just exploding up, and making sure I'm catching the ball and come back down, okay? So the whole idea is we're getting that explosive movement here, right? You could also do plyo push-ups, which we did last week, or we did on our Monday lift. That's also an option too, all right? So for the plyo set, if you want to do your plyo push-ups, again, that's also an option here. The plyo push-up is coming down, clapping, okay, going up and down and doing it that way, all right? So again, different variations that you can do depending on if you have someone there or not. It's okay, again, to take a basketball and just do those chest passes. You know, do 20 of them. Step and push. Again, the important is the explosive movement with your hands and your shoulders, all right, firing out. Think if you're a wide receiver, stock blocking, defensive lineman, offensive lineman, right? You want to make sure you're keeping those hands in, right? Linebackers say thumbs in, you win, right? That whole idea of that explosive movement right there, okay? The next superset that we have in this is going to be our hang clean and landmine rotations. So again, cleans, we've talked about a few different ways you can do cleans. Again, one way you can use your water jugs. Again, not ideal, but again, I could use my hang cleans here if I wanted to, right? Trying to get that high pull, right, and that clean motion, right? Still gonna get a work in. Again, not as perfect as cleans. Another thing you could do is just jumps, because again, with cleans, the important part is really more about that hip explosion rather than the upper body. But if you don't have water jugs, you don't have anything that you can lift up like that, again, we could just go here for our first set, right? And I'm still getting that explosive hip movement. Even though it's not a power clean, that explosive hip movement is the most important part. For the second part of the clean is the landmine rotations. Again, you can use a weighted ball, you can use your backpack. Again, I'm going to use my water jugs. Now, since I don't have the landmine to actually do the rotations with, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my water jug here, and I'm going to twist and come up, okay? You can see I'm getting that full range of motion, okay? And I can get my sets on each hip. And if you do truly superset these, if you do truly go into, the clean movement right into that, your heart rate is going to get up. Even just demonstrating, even though I'm talking a lot, I can see that my heart rate is already starting to rise, right? It's starting to get above 100 right here. And if I was really going through the sets of 10 and 10 or 10 and 15, however I'm going to superset it, if I do go through that, you're going to start to see a rise in your heart rate, okay? And that's important too, to make sure we're staying active and getting as much work in as we can given the circumstances. The next superset that we have is going to be the pull-ups and inverted rows, okay? So, this again, remember the pulls become difficult. So when we talk about doing our pull-ups and inverted rows, okay? For pull-ups, I'm going to go back to the towel again. And again, if you have a smooth surface in your house, like a wood floor, like I do here in my basement, just mentioned, use a towel. If you don't have a smooth surface, you're more on carpet, then lay yourself on a smooth surface, all right? Something you can do, let's say I was on my carpet at home, something that would slide would be like the top of a container, right? Go down to your storage area, get the top of the container, lay on this, right? And this will slide in your carpet. For me, I've got a hard surface, so what I'm going to use is I'm going to use a towel. And what I'm going to do for my pull-ups is I'm going to pull myself forward, okay? So for my first part of this next superset, okay, is I'm just going to lay on the towel. I want to make sure that towel can slide, and I'm just going to pull myself forward, right? Come back down, and I'm going to pull myself forward. And all I'm doing is sliding that towel, myself on that towel, forward. And again, you do a set of 5 or 10 right there, you're going to start to feel that squeeze in your back, okay? The next set is the inverted rows. Obviously, if you don't have anything to hang yourself on, you cannot do the inverted rows. You still can get that pull motion with your water jugs and bending over, right? So I can still get here, try to keep your back as straight as possible, right? That's why it's always good to film. I don't want to have that roundness in my back. And I can just still get that inverted row movement up and down here, okay? So again, backpacks, if you don't have water jugs, fill the backpack with some canned goods, anything to that nature will work. All right, so for the next superset, it is rear delt rows and face pulls, okay? So again, these become difficult, the pulls, right? How do we do that? So if I really want to work my lats, my delts, and everything like that, again, I've really become a big fan of this exercise. I've done it a bunch, and the first few times I did it, I was actually very, very sore in my back, more than I thought I would be. So again, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to keep 2 chairs right next to me, and I'm going to keep my arms up here, right? I'm going to sit on the ground. All I'm going to do is I'm going to try to raise my body and squeeze my back together. Pretend that there's a penny in the middle of your back. You want to try to pinch that penny. So as I go up here, and bring myself up, and I squeeze, and I'm pushing up on those elbows, right? And those forearms. I'm getting a nice deep lift here in my back, in my lats. So that's a great option that you can use to really work your back when you don't have an ability to pull anything, right? The inability to pull becomes the most difficult thing here. Next thing, face pulls. So the next part of this superset is the face pulls. For this, I'm going to use a belt. You can use a towel. I've used a towel in the past. And all I'm going to do, I'm going to do that same motion that I used for face pulls, but the key is that I'm going to pull out, okay, on this belt. And as I pull out on this belt, I can feel my back really starting to work here. And then I'm just going to pull into my face, okay? So I'm still working my face pulls. I'm still pulling back, right? You can see my arms are still pulling back. I'm still keeping a good base, good stance here. But as you pull it towards your face, continue to pull out. Don't have any slack in that belt or that towel. And again, you still will get a nice stretch and pull, a workout in, even though again it's not ideal. If you have bands, bands are obviously the ideal thing we want to use, but again, without bands, what do? I have a few bands in my house, but didn't want to use them in case you don't have them, right? A belt or a towel will be the best thing for you, okay? The last part of our supersets is the back squat and cone jumps. So again, back squat, again, squats, one of my favorite workouts, my favorite exercises. How do you supplement squats? Well, again, we've been over this 100 times, but again, backpack is really your best bet there. Anything you can do to squat or deadlift something that you have. So again, I got that backpack tied up real tight. And again, I can just do my body weight squats up and down. It's not great. It's not going to supplement squats, but doing this is better than doing nothing. I've had a few people ask me about what else can they do if they don't have weights for squats. There's not much you can do, right? But this does give you an option, okay? This does give you an option that you can do, okay? Another option, though, that I found online that I really liked was a leg press. And I don't have anything filled here. I'm just going to show you on an empty container, right? Is that I can take an empty container here, okay, on my carpet. I can do it. I have my wood floor here, so I'm going to use plastic on there, right? And if I fill this with books and binders or anything that's going to be heavy, what I can do is I can literally just push, right? Bring it back and push, right? If you have a brother or a sister or someone that you can do this with, you can go one person on each side and just kind of push it back and forth to each other, right? That's a nice, easy way to get sort of a deadlift in and kind of get those legs pushing back and forth a little bit, right? It's an option. You can do it sitting up, right? You can work your core a little bit. You can do it laying down. Either way, getting that push from your legs is going to be really important, okay? The next part of that is just cone jumps. And again, for that, you could really use anything, okay? For the cone jumps, again, I use my water jug. So if I go right from that push motion, whether it be on a storage container or whether it be with my backpack, I do that 10, 15 times, and then come and do my jumps, right? 10, 15 times, okay? That's going to still give you a good enough workout and give you a good enough burn where you're going to feel it, okay? One thing I've done is I've gone through these workouts before. I've shown them and demonstrated them just to know that I am getting my heart rate up and I am doing it right? So feel free to use these as you go along to supplement for things, or if you're just kind of over your home workout that you've been doing at home, if you're doing something else, you do have weights but you want to change up, this is a great way to change up some of the workouts, right? Okay, so for the last part of the exercises, there's three things there. We have our train wrecks, upright row, and barbell lunges, and all those things can be done with water jugs and with backpacks and things like that. Right? I've already done those in previous videos, so hopefully those give you some ideas there, okay? Obviously, finishing off with core is a big one. A lot of people have questions there. What are some things I can do for core? Obviously, besides just sit-ups, we obviously have our planks, okay? And don't forget about your side planks too. I think that's the biggest thing, right? Is that here's a few different variations you can do, okay? Obviously, our regular plank is just kind of holding a push-up position, a body straight right there, okay? If you want to add to the plank, what you can do for this, you're going to help work your shoulders too, is just do some shoulder touches, okay? So I'm here, and I'm doing that, and all I'm doing is touching each shoulder, okay? Now you can see here I'm probably rocking a little bit too much, but again, that is a nice variation you can do to work your core and your shoulders, okay? Another thing you can do for that, for planks is obviously use your side planks, okay? Now, if you want to do your side planks, you can go on your elbow too for planks. That's completely fine as well. Going on your elbows is fine. If you want to really get it going, okay, you can go use your straight arm. One thing with planks is don't have your arm way out here. It's hard on your shoulders, right? Try to keep it right. Try to keep your wrist right underneath your shoulders. You do this, okay? And as you go up and you get into your side planks, right, If this becomes too easy for you, you want a variation, try to lift that leg up, okay? Get that leg up on your knee or on your calf, right? And just try to hold yourself right there. Either side will work good there, okay? One more variation of the planks. Take your water jugs, and I love this one. And I'm going to put this water jug over here, laying down, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to reach across and grab. Reach across and grab, right? Reach across and grab. And you're going to start to feel a little bit more in your side as you reach across and grab and drag that across there, okay? A few more things, variations for abs. These are my favorites. Some people call them frogs. I've heard boat posture, a lot of different names for it. But again, just kind of sitting right here, right, with your legs up. If you really want to get into a full boat posture, as they call it in yoga, you could do this right here. And if you really want to get advanced with it, right, I can start to extend my legs and bring them back, extend and bring them back, extend and bring them back. You could do that with your arms up, okay, depending on how strong you might be, right, how flexible you are, and things like that. So that's a few core things that you can do at the end of your workout to keep things interesting, okay? I'll add a few more core workouts later next week. Maybe do a whole video on core coming up. So hopefully this is a big help for you guys. Any more questions, keep shooting me the questions. A lot of guys have been emailing me and sending me Remind 101s, asking me things they can do, and I'm just trying to give you guys stuff best I can. So I will see you guys soon. Be safe. Hopefully we'll be back on the field before we know it. Bye, guys.